Thanks for tuning in to the Old Dirty Basement. On today's episode, we're covering Lorena and John Wayne Bobbitt.
Or, what did you call her, Zap?
Lorena Bobbitt hands?
Or, Cuddy McCut-a-lot?
Cuddy McCuts.
Cutsky, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll work too.
Who'd have thought that a quinceañera would turn into this?
Ain't that America?
Yeah, this is a crazy story. Happened in the 90s. I definitely remember this, and makes men cringe everywhere, I believe. So,
yeah, just listen to the story. It's interesting.
Yep. So we hope you're enjoying the podcast. If you are, please don't forget to leave that 5-star rating, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google. On Apple, you can leave a written review, and we'd really appreciate that. It helps us grow. And sit back, relax, and enjoy John and Lorraine Bobbitt.
This is the Old Dirty Basement, home to debauchery, madness, murder, and mayhem. A terror-filled train ride deep into the depths of the devil's den.
With a little bit of humor.
History.
And copious consciousness.
I'm your announcer, Shallow Throat. Your hosts are Dave, Matt, and Zap. I love you, Matthew McConaughey. All right, all right, all right.
Hey, this is Dave.
Matt.
And Zap.
And welcome to the Old Dirty Basement.
Where every week we cover a true crime.
Murder.
Or compelling story.
So sit back.
Relax.
And comprehend.
Hello, 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 and welcome down to the basement, everybody. Hope you're having a great holiday season. What's going on, Dave and Zap? How you guys doing?
Good, man.
Good.
Good, I'm glad.
It's the holiday season. Will whoop-de-doo.
Mm-hmm.
With a doop-see-doo and a bibbly-bop.
Right.
All of that and then some.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you have for us today, Matt?
Today, I think we're going to do something like a little different. It's a crime. Could be looked at both sides, a crime by the man or woman. But we're going to delve into the little bit of the life of Lorena Bobbitt.
Lorena Bobbitt and John Wayne Bobbitt.
Yes, John Wayne Bobbitt.
Yeah.
That's right. Not just any John, but John
Wayne Bobbitt.
That's right.
Which is a very cool name.
Yeah, and I think you guys were kind of maybe doubting me a little bit about that. And I thought I was wrong on that, but maybe you weren't. But at the end of the last podcast, I said John Wayne Bobbitt.
Well, it sounded so smooth. And
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
almost made up.
Well,
like
I
the name.
actually, when we talked about it, I didn't look anything up during the last podcast, and I was second guessing myself. I'm like, is it John Wayne Bobbitt or John and Lorraine Bobbitt? But actually, that is his middle name. So I was.
But for those who may not know the name, Lorena Bobbitt, she became a public figure back in around, 1993? I think we were in high school.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
93, 95. I think the case happened in like 94.
Right. And
But,
this was everywhere.
Everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was kind of like I think it was right. It was squeezed in between the OJ trial was at the end of it, and the Amy, what was her name?
Amy Fisher?
Amy Fisher was right before it. Joey
Buttafuoco.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Geez, there was a lot of stories like that in the 90s.
Man. We had the good ones.
Yeah.
We really did have the good ones.
Good music and good crimes.
Yeah, good crimes. Yeah, but this one was a little bit of a deep crime.
Mm-hmm. This one cuts deep.
Cuts deep.
They say the first cut is the deepest.
Yeah, this is like a slice of life.
Right.
That she committed a crime, but then when we're going through this story, like, was she convicted of the crime? Did things happen? Was her husband John Wayne Bobbitt, was he the one that committed a crime? Like,
Did he bring it on? Like, was it almost like a marital justice?
Yes. So I watched which I know I'm going to get called out on this because I always get to watch stuff. But there's on Prime, it's called Lorena, and it's basically like a little mini series, I guess, documentary on Lorena Bobbitt and John and his whole story. I got to watch like basically 1.5 episodes almost. And it's got a lot of cool stuff in it, like that maybe you forgot about, or I mean, this has been so long ago. I mean, a lot of it's going to bring back memories and stuff, but there's a lot about this case I did not know. Being a teenager at the time, I just only know she cut the guy's junk off. That was pretty much it.
yeah. So, I mean, the moral
spoiler alert, by the way.
Yeah. There we go. So let's begin.
Yeah.
I mean, no, so it's, I didn't want to get into it until somebody else said it, but okay, cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
Ball bag. The you hear at least somebody our age, somebody who lived through it. I mean, any grown ass man who was around since 1993. Anytime you hear the name Lorena Bobbitt, all of a sudden, like you're
tense up.
Your junk tenses up. Yeah.
I know. I remember my dad said before I got married, he's like, if you get in an argument, he's like, make sure you sleep on your stomach. Yeah. And I was like, huh?
Wise words.
This story had guys thinking about stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it hasn't been out there. I think this made it on to like Maury Povich. It was on 2020.
I mean, it was everywhere.
Yes, everywhere.
Like watching this, like I said, watching that documentary and all the news clippings and different talk shows that this guy went on or she was on. I mean, they were making their rounds, and both of them. I mean, and it's funny to see them now. They almost kind of laugh about it a little bit. I mean, at the time, I mean, I'm sure it was traumatic and stuff, but they both kind of moved on and basically almost made careers out of it. I mean, like appearing on shows and doing different things.
This is precursor stuff to the Kardashians.
Yes. Yeah.
So Kim Kardashian makes a sex tape, releases out there. What does she do? Now she becomes oh my gosh, I can't believe she did it. Same thing with Paris Hilton, right? And then they went on to, sorry about that.
That's fine. That's fine.
That was my nuts going up.
Yes, because this is a scary story.
Yeah.
So they went on to become huge celebrities for doing nothing, for doing fuck all.
Yep.
But
They did fuck.
well, there's okay, fair. For doing nothing, creating nothing, contributing nothing, not even not having a job, not doing anything.
Talentless efforts of nothing, and you become billionaires almost. I think the Kardashians worth billions.
And this is I think that this Bobbitt case, exactly what you're saying, when they were going around doing the circuit, doing the Maury Poviches, that's a man, Maury.
Yeah.
Doing all of those, Jerry Springer's, you name it. Yeah, that's going to get, any press is apparently good press.
And it's funny you brought up the Kardashian tape. I was talking to LA Ron, told him what we're doing, and I said about how they got famous and all that. And he brought that up, exactly what you're talking about with that sex tape and how people capitalize on it. And he said with the Kardashian sex tape, now this is alleged, or kind of what he said, I haven't looked into it, that they had bought all the digital rights or whatever to that movie before it was
in advance.
Yeah. So is it planned? Did you release that out there to, did you already have?
Well, that was big. Remember when the internet and stuff started blooming and blossoming? Everybody pretty much at one time had a sex tape.
Right.
So all these actresses, B actresses, actors, Colin Farrell, like all these sort of like A-list actors then started having sex tapes, and then all the stuff just ends up out there. But any kind of publicity is good publicity.
I guess the Tommy Lee and Pamela one would have been first, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
There was after that there was a Vince Neil one from Motley Crue.
Oh wow.
There was Bret Michaels.
Bret Michaels had a couple
from local band Poison.
Yes.
Yeah, the Mechanicsburg boy.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he had a tape.
They all do. If you can look at, they just make them up now.
Yeah.
They're like, shit, I don't have a tape. I better get on there.
Put it out.
Fuck it, I do, and it's out there. Just nobody's downloading it.
The Zap tape.
Yeah,
the Zap tape.
$2.99. But then you have to subscribe to. Well, that's another thing too. Like you can get on these people's what's the pages called?
Like
MySpace?
Not MySpace.
Space?
No.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Yes.
Like everybody and their mother has an OnlyFans page, and they're making bank, man. This is like not. This is real money.
I hear you can be a foot model on
OnlyFans.
I was thinking of that. Like people, they squish like bananas. You go in there, you take like your boot off after a long day of work.
People are into some wild shit.
You, like pop some glass.
There's a lot of money to be made, I guess, if you get famous and get your name out there. And this crime today, for sure, pushed both their names to the forefront
for damn sure.
at that time.
But this Lorena Bobbitt, just a regular girl. She was born in Buque, Ecuador in 1969. She grew up in Caracas, Venezuela. Had 2 siblings, and her dad was like a dental technician or something. But growing up, she always wanted to live the American dream. It was, right. I think she said she enjoyed watching the Flintstones because it made like they had a microwave or something. She said, and it was mind blowing to her.
It's high tech.
Yeah.
In Venezuela, Caracas.
Yes.
Caracas.
That
is a quinceañera.
That would
quinceañera
in Venezuelan. That would be her 15th birthday.
Her 15th birthday.
Quinceañera.
Oh, okay.
Her
parents got
5, right? 15.
I don't know, man. Sesame Street stopped at 10.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, The only Spanish numbers I know is 1 through 10.
It's 7, 9, 10.
Well,
But yeah, quinceañera. Quinceañera.
well, her parents got her a trip to the U.S., I think, for her 16th birthday. That's what she wanted. She wanted to come over, and once she came over here, she was like obsessed. Like, I want to go there and live, and that's kind of, she had it in her mind after that.
And then what? She started looking for jobs, right? And finally got a job when she came back over.
I'm assuming then she came back over, lived with the family, right, in Virginia. Is that what they said?
Yeah, she went to a local community college in Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, she got a student visa.
Is that what
That's
it
what it
was?
was.
Yeah,
There you go.
In
Student visa.
87, in 87, she got herself a student visa, and while she was here, she worked as a nanny. Again, on her student visa, hey man, I'm going to school. I got to fucking pay for it.
Right.
So she was a nanny, and then she later got a job at a nail salon.
And that nail salon will come back around later.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And see, that was a big thing because there was a time, I think I went with a group of friends. I think you were there, Dave. We went to Baltimore, Maryland.
Yes.
And
You guys went to a nail salon?
No.
Nah,
There
just
was
Baltimore.
there was a big
Fells
club,
Point.
yes, at Fells Point, and
Yeah.
it was like 3 or 4 clubs in one. This was back when this was a thing, and there was a group of nannies, and I began talking to the nannies, and
Yeah, you disappeared. Like,
Yeah,
we were like, where'd Matt go?
oh, sorry, yeah,
And,
He went to the nail salon
right.
for the
for the nannies.
well, I mean, a lot of things happen at these salons. It goes far beyond nails.
Right.
I mean, I think in massage parlors.
That's might be that too. Either or, I guess.
But I met there was 3 young women. 2 were from Latvia, 1 was from Germany, I believe, and they were there in Baltimore for very, very wealthy families as au pairs, and like these were very, very beautiful women. I mean, women at the time, I'd say like 20, 21, 22. And yeah, it was like a big thing, but all they wanted to do was stay in the country. They didn't want to go back.
So they're trying to land a man.
They're trying to find people. So, like you end up like, hey, I'm going to go get a drink. You guys want to like, no, we got you. We pay for you. This is all good. And because they're making bank. And you figure like a lot of these dads too, like they're probably looking, I don't know if they have a catalog, but these girls are very pretty.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, they want to meet a man. They want to stay in this country because it's so much more than they have from their country.
Well, at least it was back then. Nowadays, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
people
all-
want to go back.
It's all going down the shitter now. Yeah, they do.
That was the same trip. I think we were looking for hard-shell crabs, and the guy told us go to O'Bricky's. Remember?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
guys.
I
Like,
think that was the same
I've never
trip.
been there. We couldn't. Did we find it?
No, I don't think so.
remember. But yeah, Fells Point, Baltimore area. It was nice little area down there.
So yeah, for the young men out there, if you want to get to Fells Point, a lot of au pairs,
Yeah.
just hanging out, looking to get married. They don't want to leave the country.
Foreign chicks.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, foreign chicks.
Mm-hmm.
But so
Looking
yeah,
for loving husbands.
so she was here in the States, and I think she goes to it's a Marine ball, and it was at an officers club, and a friend of hers invited her, and she meets this tall, handsome man. I guess he started like spitting lines to her, right?
Right. He went up and started talking to her and stuff.
Yeah, like Chevy Chase does at the lounge.
Right. Can I sit down? Jesus.
Still to this day, one of the best scenes. Mind if I sit down?
He stands up. Yeah.
So great.
But yeah, she's just hanging out. Guy comes over and starts talking to her and says how beautiful she is. What is she doing here? And he admits that she didn't speak very good English, so a lot of stuff he didn't understand. But he just understood her body language and that it was time for some loving.
Oh my God.
And what year is this around?
She spoke the international language.
Yes.
The international language.
Yes.
The language of love.
Yep.
Is that what that is?
That's from Better Off Dead.
That's right.
They're speaking, she might not speak English, but they speak, I think her and Ricky
Yeah.
are speaking
Ricky.
the international language.
Yes.
What year are we at here?
I think we're at 1988.
Okay, so this is after Top Gun. Because I was always thinking about Top Gun for military guys, probably like that probably pushed them up a whole nother level. You know what I mean? With like
The men in uniform.
man in uniform and all that.
And probably half of them were just saying they were pilots anyway because none of these women didn't know.
Or they owned an airline,
Right.
Something big like that.
also from Vacation.
Right. He's speaking in movies again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm having flashbacks. I'm having flashbacks.
No, that's cool though.
I like
People
when
like
Zap
that.
goes to movie speak.
Right.
So anyway, do you guys know anything about their relationship? So they met. Did they date long? Were they talking long? Or
I mean, if they met in '88, it didn't take them long because what I'm looking at least the intel I'm gathering, they were married a year later.
in June of 1989.
June of 1989. Happy anniversary. She was 20 and he was 22 at the time.
So they're young. Yeah.
Young love.
very young, and like, yeah, she was there trying to stay. He was probably like, man, I meant this, and she was a pretty girl.
She was pretty, yeah.
And I think even Playboy, they offered her $1 million after this whole thing to do a spread, and she didn't.
She wouldn't do it.
No, she wouldn't do it because I guess she said she was like she was Catholic. She was raised Catholic. She didn't think that was
like a good thing.
Yeah,
to do.
something smart to do.
Yeah.
But so yeah, they meet each other. They get married in June of 1989. And she said it didn't take long before things started getting a little weird with him.
A little rough.
Yeah.
Like he was kind of abusive and stuff.
Yeah, the way that I read it, and we clearly see where Matt's going with this. You know, this guy wasn't. I don't think he was ready for the married life. It kind of like rushed into that one. This guy's still getting his wiggles out at 22. I mean, come on, he's in the service. You know, he's in there for a couple of years, whatever. Mm-hmm. He wants to live his life. He still wants to go out and sow his royal oats.
Right.
Do his thing.
And he's a handsome guy too. I mean, you know, I'm sure he didn't have any problems with that.
That's what she said. Yeah, he had like blue eyes or something, and she was all like, and he was in his uniform, and but I think when he lost,
Christy McCullough had blue eyes, by the way.
Wait,
Krista McCullough?
Christy McCullough,
the NASA girl, yeah,
the teacher that went up in the
Yes.
Challenger, yeah, blue eyes.
Where'd that come from?
Well, one blew this way and one blew that way.
Oh man,
What, too soon?
no,
That's
yeah.
not. Never forget.
There was a bunch of jokes back then. I
Oh, of
remember
course.
having-
Well, so as we were all talking about this, you know, there was one thing leads to another. You just go down this 7 degrees of separation or however that is, and we go into a local politician around here. It was Bud Dwyer.
Oh, Bud Dwyer, yes.
And you know, it's just, you know, this is a guy that blew his head off.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
On
not
TV, it was on television.
Yeah.
When we were
Yeah.
kids, they actually showed the footage
Yes.
of him grabbing the gun out of his pocket, and it was at some sort of board meeting, right? Or
it was definitely a press event,
yes, it was a press event.
and it's great to watch that. I mean, it's, okay, to be clear, it's not great to watch it, but it
It
is.
was fan.
I know where
Everybody
you're
got the
going with it,
popcorn.
It was very interesting to watch. You can actually see.
Not today on TV Boy, I tell you.
And here's the thing, like
He set the desks up for that. Like, so he was standing behind this podium, and he actually moved desks in the room next to the podium, so people couldn't rush him when he pulled the gun out.
And how much time was he? Do you know how much time he was even looking at for what he did, the crime that he committed?
No idea.
It wasn't.
I don't think it wasn't long at all.
And
It might have been a couple years, but he would have got community service.
He was disgraced. I mean, he was embarrassed. He was ashamed.
And there was a
It
song.
happens.
There was a song written about that. You
Hey
guys
man,
know-
nice shot.
That's right.
By Filter.
Filter, yes.
Oh, so that was based on that event.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And he was
What a good shot, man.
the guy from Filter, the lead singer. I forget his name, Patrick something or other. Patrick. He was from 9 Inch Nails. I watched the whole thing about him, and we're just going a whole nother rabbit hole here. But yeah, he was in 9 Inch Nails, and he
We
ended
stepped off the Amtrak
Yeah.
and got onto the fucking freight train here.
right. But look that song up. You never heard it. Hey man, nice shot. That's based on the Bud Dwyer thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What it was one that was like, can beer make you sick or something? That it made Bud Dwyer or something. Like, I don't know what.
Could have been something like that.
It was something like that. I don't know. It was in whatever 6th grade. We were still pretty young. That
I was really
80
young.
Oh, God,
something,
yeah,
right?
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. Huh.
But anyway, who are we talking about?
We're talking
Lorena
about
Bobbitt.
We're talking
That's
about
right.
Lorena Bobbitt,
Yes.
who had a very unhappy husband. Who you can just read this pretty easily figure out that this guy didn't want to be married, or not didn't want to be married, but he still wanted to have his own single life and do his own thing. And he has now, I would call it the equivalent of a good conscience. He's got a woman that wants to stay with him and hang with him, and is just trying to keep him on the right path. So she would get bent at him when he would go out boozing,
Yes.
or they were driving home from bars and he was, driving drunk, which is, I'm sure we have all done that countless times.
Oh, yeah.
She'd get pissed at that. He'd have his buddies over,
Yes.
rando, like, oh, hey man, it's cool. You can sleep here. It's fine. Just hang out. Like, dude, we're married. Like you can't do this anymore.
Right. You got to leave that life behind and time to be. Yeah.
But there were stories that Zap was saying. He was 22. He was out drinking, but he would have random friends just crash. And I guess like Lorena started getting upset about that. And he'd be like, "Oh, this is my cousin," or whatever.
He would just make up lies. And
yeah,
stuff.
like all these people were his cousins.
Oh,
and they
I
needed
didn't know
a place
that.
to stay.
Oh,
According to the story that I watched, they had a movie that was, I think Key Peele directed it.
Well, that's the one I watched. It's a
Oh, okay.
documentary. Yeah.
Yes.
Jordan Peele, I guess.
Jordan Peele,
Yeah.
yes. And she would have she would come to him and be like, "Who's this guy?" He's like, "Oh, that's my cousin Todd." And then like 2 weeks later, it was his cousin Bill or whoever. Like these guys would just crash on his couch because it was like a party house because he didn't really have a job.
Holy frijoles, Juan. Your family is so big.
He's got a lot.
I think, is that a Venezuelan accent?
Yes, that is a Venezuelan.
That is a very good Venezuelan
that's
accent.
Spanglish.
So what I'm gathering here then is that they probably got married way too. He wasn't ready yet. She was probably ready. Maybe he wasn't. Is that what you're kind of getting around?
I mean,
to?
I'm sure she was ready to be.
She just wanted to be here.
Green carded.
Yeah, the green
citizen.
card. Yeah, you don't right when you get married, you can stay. So I mean, if she could be sent back at any time, and I think that was another thing too. She was afraid. I guess she started saying there was some sort of like domestic stuff that started happening, which we'll get into.
Yes,
but
yeah.
she was afraid because he could say, "Hey, she can go home." But I thought if you were married, I thought that ended your visa was automatically. I don't know how to say it. Like I guess she was good or no.
I thought when you got married that you're good.
That's my understanding.
Yeah.
You have to get
that's why-
JW to answer this in the mailbag.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
just it basically speaks to Matt what you were talking about with regard to those broads in Fells Point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're looking for a man so they can get married, and
And
I don't
they
want to
can't
go to
get
hell
sent
back to
back.
Lithuania or whatever other kind of gypsy country is over there on the Eastern Bloc.
Yeah,
Right.
it's pretty much. Yeah, it's mostly Eastern Bloc countries that send them over here because they don't like. Yeah, they
Goddamn
don't want to be over
gypsies.
there.
They're all the same, and everything is the same, and it always ends with a dance. And then at the end of the dance, every dance is the same. It always ends with them reaching for your wallet.
My
Is that how it goes?
That every goddamn one of those gypsies.
my grandmother, her family was Hungarian, and that's what was the thing. If we were in trouble as kids, they would say they put us out on the street and sell us to the gypsies because every night they would come around and. Parents that didn't have much back in the day, like wherever in like Hungary or Romania, those places, like the parents would actually sell kids to get like lambs and shit like that.
That's great.
But anyway, so Lorena, Bob, they're married. Marriage isn't working well.
John.
Lorena, Bob. I was
Married
waiting
to
for
Bob.
I thought you had a stroke for a second. I was waiting to hear it. Lorena, Bob.
Lorena,
It.
Bob, it,
Right.
and John Wayne, Bob, it. So yeah, the marriage wasn't doing well. The guy's drinking all the time, having buddies over. She just wants a night alone, wants to snuggle on the couch, watch
Right.
Netflix, whatever was big.
Go to Home Goods.
Yeah, go to Home Goods, buy some towels and
Right. Married
and
stuff.
yeah, marriage stuff. They didn't know if they'd have time though. What was that?
What's that? What'd you say?
Used to be that joke, like what was it from a movie? Like we're gonna go to.
That's from old school.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he says, "Oh, this weekend we're going to go to Home Depot and then maybe Bed Bath and Beyond." I don't know if we'll have enough time.
We'll have enough
There it
time.
was.
Yeah.
Yes, from old school.
And
But that's what they were working on. Just marriage stuff.
Minivan and
So there was a point where they were driving home from a bar. He was obliterated, very drunk, John Wayne Bobbitt, and Lorena grabbed the steering wheel. And like you said before, there's been times you're driving home, somebody drives your steering wheel, you're going to start freaking out.
Shit, yeah.
yeah.
And I guess she went to grab it, and he went and popped her in the face,
Oh shit.
punched her. And this was on the movie that I saw, and is written about.
Who's in the car? Just the two of them?
The two of them, and it was his cousin, quote unquote,
Yeah.
one of his friends that he had, and one of
my cousin Laylo
Oh,
going to be hanging out in the basement.
he didn't have a basement. I think they had a 1-bedroom apartment. Dudes
that
would just
what it
crash
was?
on his couch
Yes, that is correct. They had an apartment.
because he wasn't working.
right.
Dude couldn't get a job after he got out of the Marine Corps. She was working at the nail salon. I don't know if we brought that up yet.
Yes.
No,
talked-
we did not bring that
Well,
up yet.
Okay,
we did
go ahead,
talk-
Dave.
Didn't we bring up nail salon earlier or no?
So for damn sure, she started out as a nanny and then worked into a nail salon.
Oh, okay.
I got something that allegedly, this is alleged by Lorena.
Oh, we're not there yet.
Okay,
We
go.
are getting there. I mean, you can bring that up.
No.
Okay.
I don't want to go out of timeline.
Okay. Yeah. John left the Marines.
They were talking about like when he punched her in the
Yes,
car.
punched her in
and
the car.
There was somebody else in the car.
Yeah, there was somebody
Okay.
else and a friend of hers. And
So there's 4 of them in the car then.
yes.
Oh, okay.
And they witnessed it. I guess they went home. He continued to beat her, hit her, and she didn't know a marriage was like that. She had no idea from her growing up that something like that could happen.
This is marriage in America, baby.
That's how it goes down.
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah. She's not watching any Lifetime movies, apparently, because she didn't know. She thought everything was like candy and roses. Not
Right.
that not that. I mean, nobody should hit anybody.
Right.
Lifetime movies.
Domestic abuse and all
Yes,
that's not
domestic
on her
abuse and all
radar.
that. No, she knew nothing about that.
You don't think they have that in her country or what? Like,
Well, I don't know. I think she was so young.
oh, yeah.
And she did. This is where, like you were saying, go ahead. She was working at a nail salon.
So I don't think they have razors in her country.
They don't shave.
No, they don't. There's no escaping there.
She said
Yeah,
it was very natural.
yeah,
Oh, natural.
very natural.
Major Bush.
Yeah, the short. Well, this was actually during the GHW Bush era, so
the Bush era.
they had a good tie in there.
In two ways, yeah.
So at one point, there was a point at which, despite getting beat up or doing whatever, they are going to make maritals here and there.
Right.
Well,
Does that mean sex
that does mean
in the
Sexy
biblical
time.
term?
that's a biblical term for sexy
Yes.
time.
Okay.
Sexy time.
So they're making sexy time. And
Actually, that all pair. That's what she called it. She called it nasty, sexy time.
That's the time.
we make sexy time.
Yeah, it's time to
Nice.
make the sexy. And I was like, whatever.
This coat is black knot. So apparently, at one point, old John slid one past the goalie,
Oh.
and Lorena got pregnant.
Uh-oh.
He ended up forcing her to get an abortion. Now, this is his wife,
Wow.
right? I mean, this is his wife. Like, hey, man, if you're ever going to have a kid, the best time to do it is, you're married.
You're married, yeah.
Here you go. You're doing that full nuclear family.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, he had when he took her to the clinic to have the procedure, the abortion, he was actually taunting her on the way there.
Like
Like-
teasing her and shit.
No, teasing her like, this could kill you. Like
Oh, really?
this abortion
Yeah,
you're getting,
putting shit in her head.
yeah, it could kill you.
I can't believe that.
And
That's fucked up.
that's funny that you said that, because when I watched the movie on her, they were showing him and her sitting there, and he was like saying, like he was looking at the nurse and stuff, and he was like saying, "Wow, she looks good. She wouldn't look good if she was all big and pregnant," and like saying stuff just to really mess with her head.
In front of the nurse.
Yeah, and one of the nurses actually that I read, and they showed it on the movie, came to her and said, "Would you like to sit away from him right now? Because it looks like he's making you nervous."
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Please." And then they took her back to the room. But yeah, the guy was not a good person.
Well, so he's bent, right? So he's out of he's out of the military. He doesn't have a job.
Nope, not working.
They did buy a house eventually. However, while she was the only source of income working at a nail salon.
Mm-hmm.
So I read someplace that she had actually stated that because of those financial pressures, she ended up stealing from her employer just so she, make ends meet.
Yeah. Because they need beer money if they're going out drinking, doing all that stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
he did.
Well, he did.
That's
yeah.
right.
She was at home making dinner, and he was like, "I'm going out with my new buddy."
Right.
But she was also into shoplifting, because
Yep.
she said that she wanted to look good for him, and if she didn't look good, he would find somebody else. So she stole these clothes from Nordstrom's. She was stealing money from $7,000, I think, is what I read.
Dang. Mamacita.
Jeez.
So $7,000, but I guess the lady found out that she was stealing money, and she knew what kind of situation she was in. So she worked something out with her to pay back the money.
That's
So
a
she
lot.
didn't
That's
she
a
didn't
lot.
bust her. So she was basically working for free half the time. So now like the financial difficulties are getting out of control.
Mm-hmm.
John Wayne's out drinking every night. She's at home just trying to make some enchiladas.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's doing, but shit's not looking good, man.
No.
I love enchiladas.
They're so yummy.
I don't-
Chicken,
I don't.
beef.
What is an enchilada? Like I eat fajitas, I eat tacos. Like break it down.
It's a tortilla. And then you get some like cheese, you get some onion, you get some chicken, you get some like cream of mushroom soup, because that makes like the binder.
Okay.
And then you like get some cheese on top of that, and then you roll it all together, and then you bake it.
Okay. I
Kinda
don't think
like-
I've ever had that.
I have an ever so slightly different recipe that completely forgoes the concept of cream of mushroom soup.
Yeah.
Although that sounds interesting. I use cream cheese. I melt cream cheese in with a little bit of the sauce, toss that around with the chicken and the cheese, also known as queso.
Yes, queso.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's
That's-
delicious.
Anything south of Texas, they call that queso.
Queso. Yeah.
Central America and South America.
Mm.
But I don't even know if that's a Venezuelan dish. So if there's any Venezuelans listening,
Yeah.
Yeah.
please let us know.
What the cuisine is.
Yes, we enjoy good cuisine here in the
Mhm.
basement.
The old dirty cookbook.
The green enchiladas, by the way, not the red. The green sauce.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
There's
yeah, yeah.
two sauces. You can get green or red.
Mm.
The green is made with tomatillos. The L is silent.
Is that a tomatillo is kind of a small little like
Like a
tomato.
tomato.
Very similar to a tomato. Well, Very similar to a tomato.
Yeah.
Bob.
Yep.
It.
Bobbitt.
Very good. So while they were going through all their marital difficulties, the police were called to the Bobbitts' home on multiple occasions. On February of 1991, John pleaded guilty to assault and battery, though the charges were dismissed after he went through some counseling. So this guy already, they're getting the charges coming at him. He said, it was something that happened. She would never push anything. And that's why he went to some sort of, what kind of counseling would that be? Like just like a marriage counseling?
Like anger management or something. I don't know. I don't know what they had back then. Like,
So
what I mean?
I want to I want to liken this. I want to because I don't know, but I want to in my mind. Let's say when one gets busted for a DUI, their first offense, they're going to be offered, if they qualify for ARD,
yes,
accelerated recovery disposition, whatever the hell that stands for.
Right.
Maybe this is like that, where it's like, hey man, this is the first time you got, they called the cops and you got busted for beating your old lady. Maybe, as like Matt had said, maybe there's some kind of, or maybe you said the anger
management. Yeah.
You got some kind of anger management issues here. Let's send you to a psychiatrist. Let's send you to a shrink. Let's send you to somebody, a counselor or something that can help you out. Maybe, talk you off the ledge there. Maybe convince you to stop cracking so many beers.
Right.
So
Whatever.
is that all it takes for domestic abuse in America? So the guy was called, the wife said he was hitting me, or, the cops are like, do you want to leave the house right now? She leaves. And they're like, I think you need to go to some counseling.
Maybe back then, 1990 or whatever.
Yeah, 1990.
It was a different time.
91, actually, 91.
Yeah.
Man, those were the days.
Yeah.
So anyway, these guys, the marriage is pretty much going to shit by now. So they separate in October of 1991. But, she has nothing. She's afraid she's going to get deported. He has no job. He's tired of living with these other guys. He's probably crashing on couches the same way they were. So 1 year later, they become reunited again. He's calling her back saying, I miss you, girl.
And it feels so good.
Yeah, nobody cooks that Venezuelan cuisine the way you do.
Yeah.
You got that sweet, sweet loving.
I'm missing them enchiladas.
So he was excited to get back with her. And she was too. She was like, I don't want to leave. I'm trying to meet other.
That's all she knows. Yeah.
Yeah, there's other Marines out there, but, they don't.
This
They
is
don't
a committed
excite me.
woman.
Yeah.
This is a good, wholesome,
Catholic,
committed woman.
young Venezuelan woman.
Well, yeah, as you said later, you talked about the Playboy thing. That she's, religious and all that stuff. So I'm sure in her mind, she wants to work things out and make it work.
Yeah, so they get together, they reunite, and they move into a new apartment in Manassas, and that's in Virginia. And this was on June 21st of 1993. And under that time, she began, actually, when they got back together, she began processing and filing for a protective order. So the whole thing don't make sense to me.
So I got that, and I see where you're at. In April, they moved. It was just 2 months later, in June, I think, is when she filed for the protective order. Yeah.
So that means
Which is not shocking at all.
Well, no.
What do you think? Like, he's a changed man? Did that counseling really work? Come on.
What are you looking at?
Don't believe the hype. What are you finger boxing?
I was just looking up Manassas because my brother-in-law lived in Fairfax County, which was like one of the richest, wealthiest counties in the United States. And what shocked me is talking about how they're living on one income there and all that. I just wanted to check the proximity. It's close, but not. It's, I don't know. Looking at the map here, maybe 40 miles, but there was a townhouse down there when my brother-in-law lived in Fairfax County. That up here would be at the time $150,000 townhouse. It was $750,000. They were selling it. They were moving out. They were renting it, and I think it was like over $700,000 if I remember. And it's just a very, very, very wealthy area. So I was just thinking about their financial situation and everything. What you were talking about, that's not a cheap area to live.
You've got so much going for it. So it's the closest city to DC.
To DC.
I want to say is Arlington.
Okay.
And so that's Fairfax County. So bam. So you've got that. You're just right across the old river there, right there in Fairfax County.
Yeah, it's that military brass money.
Man, you got military brass money. You got lobbying money. You got anything DC money. You got big money.
Big money there. I wonder if Manassas, did you know much about that area? Is it similar, or because I was just looking on the map? 'Cause I know Virginia
So certainly that far out, you're going to start to see the cost diminish.
go down a little bit. Okay.
I mean, that far out, like that's a drive.
Right.
Although I don't know the infrastructure there. I don't know if the old metro makes it that far out. Seems pretty far.
Pretty far, yeah. So it's probably not. Maybe they're not as affected as I was. Just wanted to look at that.
It's pretty out there, though.
Yeah, I mean, I've
I've
never
been through there.
I was in Fairfax, and to be honest, I mean, it looked like a strip of like our Route 22 here, like a lot of stores and different things like that. And then there was townhouses and houses.
Where did the Colonel live in? Was that Arlington? Outside of Arlington?
No, he was down in Maryland.
Oh, never mind.
He was down in
with the Poe folk.
He was in. He was actually south of the airport. He was in Laurel, Maryland.
Oh, okay. So he was on the other side of the tracks from the Manassas area.
Okay. We should have Colonel would know.
The deep south.
Yeah, Colonel's coming. He's coming to town.
Yeah, we got to get Colonel in here. He could.
Colonel Claus.
Yeah.
It's coming
Colonel
to
Claus. Yeah, he's coming to town.
He's coming to town. He's making a list.
Yeah.
So, where were we at? Protective order filed by Lorena Bobbitt.
Yeah, John Wayne was beating his old lady.
Yes. So then, well, the thing with John, he denied any sort of abuse in the relationship. And in his version of the events, Lorena was the one that was extremely jealous, and she was the one that would attack him and hit him. So it'd be one of those things. He said the abuse that he had towards her was trying to
Retaliation.
not retaliation, to prevent her from hurting him.
Oh.
So he would have to like hold her back, or
and in the process hurt her.
yes, like if she was attacking him, he would have to like grab her and hold her down, or like keep her on the couch. But there's been stories behind that he was excited by that kind of
that's sexual stuff.
Yeah, like a lot of stuff that we talk about in other true crimes. Like there's guys that actually in their head, like they like that abusive part of or controlling or power. Maybe he liked when she would hit him, and then it would turn him on or something like that.
There is a thing like that I've heard with the serial killers.
Called
I don't know
sexy time.
I don't know if it's one that we have done or one that I've heard about in like on like another show or podcast or something that.
Is that like that BDSM shit?
Yeah, I think that the Russian serial killer, like the guy that killed like 50 people, was his name. I can't remember his name now.
Boris Yeltsin.
Or Boris Yeltsin. No, it was like
Mikhail Gorbachev.
I want to say
Vladimir Putin.
No, it wasn't him. It was like I want to say Klitschko, but that's a boxer.
Yakov Smirnov.
He was on what?
I love this country.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's I forgot about that guy.
He used to be on Night Court, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
He was on Night Court.
Who was the comedian that busted the watermelons with the big
Oh,
hammer?
that was Gallagher.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I think it was him.
It might have been him.
Was he Russian?
No, I don't think so.
He just smashed watermelons.
Oh,
No.
that guy was a dumbass. You need to liven up you need to expand your shtick here.
That's all he does.
Yeah, that was his whole thing. Like he'd say some dumb jokes and brought a watermelon, and he would squash it, and people would be like, "Yes." It's kind of like the Carrot Top guy. I don't know where we're going with any of this, but
No, we're going nowhere.
fast.
But yeah, so like you said, man, John denied being the aggressor.
He said it was all her.
He
said
her.
she was batshit crazy.
She was jealous.
Yeah, because he was going out to the clubs with his buddies,
Out to the club.
having a couple drinks, and then she was at home, and he'd be like, "Hey, can you want to come out tonight?" And she's like, "No, I want to stay home."
The serial killer I was thinking of is Andre Chikatilo, and when he was a kid, he got into wrestling like with his
I was gonna say
cousin.
he sounds like a pro wrestler, Andre.
I know Chikatilo, like he'd be a boxer or something maybe too, but he was wrestling with his cousin, and they were real young, and he was holding her down wrestling, and he got excited, and he knew at that point like, oh, I like this like control and like.
I think I remember talking about it.
Yeah. So that triggered in his head. It connected it to, oh, when I see panic in your eyes or you're struggling, it's a sexual thing. So maybe this guy has this too, like on some level.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But John Bobbitt's whole thing that was she was upset all the time that he wanted to divorce her. She was getting abusive. He kept saying about her green card, which is stuff that we still I'm really not sure about that because
he kept threatening her about the green card.
Yeah.
Like, look, you're gonna.
if she divorces that thing, hey, you're divorced.
That's right.
You're not going to be able to hold on to that citizenship, and then your goose is cooked. Is that what he meant?
Basically, yeah. It's like, look, bitch, I'm gonna do what I want to do. You're gonna take what I give you and then some.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going back to Mexico.
Off you go.
Yep.
I think it was Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Country's a country.
It's
south.
Anything south of Texas to me is Mexico. Like, I've been trying really hard to use words like Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
So give me a chance.
Just
I'm working on it.
working on it.
So all that, I mean, we're finally getting to a point here where stuff's just going bad. And then on, according to Lorena, in the early hours of June 23rd, 1993, Mr. John Wayne Bobbitt comes home after a night of drinking, very drunk.
We would have been at senior week. Oh, no.
No.
That was OJ. That was the senior week.
Yeah, but I went in 11. No, I was.
You
Oh, wait, yeah.
You went your junior year?
Yes.
I went my junior year also.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't as cool as you two.
No,
You were
actually,
there.
junior year, I was with a group of other friends. Yeah.
We got attacked on the boardwalk and thrown down and
By
handcuffed.
John Wayne Bobbitt.
Yeah,
Shocking.
yeah. But June of '93, yeah. So 11th grade we would have been
11th
when all
grade.
this happened.
So, John Wayne Bobbitt comes home, night of partying and drinking. He comes into the room, and this is where the story gets a little fuzzy.
Gray, yeah.
Yeah. She's saying that he stripped down naked at one point, and then I think when she was being questioned, she was saying that he had boxers on. So he crawled into bed, be it stripped down naked or with boxers, and she was laying there, and he inserted his penis into her while she was laying next to him, and
She alleges rape.
she alleges rape. And the whole thing was, now she's saying rape, and what, he falls to sleep after the so-called rape, correct?
Yeah, so he's drunk. Then he tries to rape her or does whatever, which is, of course, a crime of rage.
Right.
I guess drunk and now tired from trying to do sexy time.
Well, he got his nut off,
Yeah,
so it's sleepy,
yeah,
sexy. And she didn't even
time.
get up to make him a sandwich, which I found rather rude.
I know, man. Do your job.
Yeah. Is how
Earn that goddamn green card.
Yeah.
Look, we've seen Vacation, right?
Right.
So she should be apologizing by now.
Right.
These green cards don't grow on trees, honey bear. So
So he passes out. Next thing you know, she goes to the kitchen,
she wants a drink of water.
gets a
She's
drink
tired.
of water.
Mhm.
She finds herself an 8-inch carving knife on the kitchen counter. Goes
Which
back.
they used for a turkey the night before. I don't know if anybody knew that fact.
Oh, they
not
did?
know that.
Yeah.
What, for
She-
turkey?
Yeah, she prepared a beautiful turkey, and that's why I was sitting there, because she
Carved that up.
must have let that just sit there.
She probably cooked it like
It was
Eddie's
dry,
wife,
Yeah.
cousin Eddie's wife, just disintegrates.
Dried it out.
Yeah, dried ass turkey.
Gets the 8-inch carving knife on the kitchen counter. Goes back to the boudoir. Pulls back the bed sheets. Bam.
Oh,
Cuts off his Johnson. She cut off his junk.
Yeah, she cut off his penis right there.
So I was trying to find the details on this. Apparently, just the shaft. She didn't get the twig and berries, just the twig.
yeah. Just I saw a
don't even know,
picture
like-
of it
Ooh,
on that documentary. They show it.
Whoa!
I didn't see all that.
when it's severed.
This is a documentary available to everyone on Amazon Prime.
Prime members. Yeah, and they said. Go ahead, Matt. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. They said what?
No, they said like they were talking to him. That's like one of the parts that I caught that he talked about. Like he lost about a third of his blood from that, and he thought he was dreaming. He was drunk, and he thought
Oh,
like
so you're numb to a lot of shit too.
Yeah.
I wanted to get into that. And you know what? Here we go. So
Yeah.
and here it goes. I don't care how drunk you are. I don't. Somebody cuts off your junk, you're gonna know somebody cut off your junk.
oh yeah, he was in
Yeah.
pain for sure. Yeah,
But you've been blackout before, where if you're like sleeping in the middle of your drunkenness, and if somebody would have done, I mean, you might have felt like that initial.
he was in a fog kind of.
Yeah, but then he was like, "Man, I got to pee.
Well, he made
What's up?"
He made a
Jesus.
he made a reference to remember in Nightmare on Elm Street when Freddy comes through the wall behind, and he made a reference to that. He was dreaming, and I don't know if he thought like he was dreaming about Freddy Krueger
wow.
coming through the wall, but he on that documentary he talked and brings that up, that scene, but he did feel the pain. It just, I guess, because he was kind of still groggy and out of it, he thought it was a dream. And then,
She's a dream warrior.
yeah,
But I didn't see the severed picture or anything. I'm sure on the internet you could find it where they showed the severed penis. But I did see the knife that they used, and if you look, I mean, they say a carving knife, but it looked like something that you found on your grandma's, where she had like 30 like different knives in that drawer.
Right.
It didn't look like anything that would have been sharp,
like a
or-
Dollar General.
Yeah,
knife.
it looked like the cheapest thing that you could find. It just looked, it would be incredibly painful.
It's probably how she jacked up that turkey,
Right.
which pissed him off, which sent him off to the bar, which then forced him to drink,
In the fit of rage.
and in a fit of rage raped her,
Mhm.
and then cut off his junk. So it all comes down to having a shitty Dollar General knife. This could have all been avoided had she not had had she had better knives, this would have never happened.
Never happened.
So while she was doing this, he's sitting there wondering why, if he's drunk or dreaming or Freddy's popping through the wall.
Right.
She's holding on to the severed penis, jumps in a car, begins driving, 3 or 4 blocks. She can't take holding the penis anymore. I think she puts it in a...
Well, she was, from what she was describing, she didn't even realize it was in her hand.
Yeah, she was just driving with it.
Yeah.
So for those who can't see the gestures as Matt is telling this story, he's just holding his hand out like he would otherwise be holding a cigar or maybe like a hot dog without a bun.
A hot dog without a bun.
Like 4 fingers are closely held together and the thumb is like in between all of the 4 fingers just holding it. Like there's, I'm making believe. And not for nothing, I do not want to watch that documentary.
Just because of that.
I do not want to see somebody's cut off junk.
Oh, I didn't know it was coming up, and then it just popped up on the screen. I'm like, oh, I did not want to see it, but I saw it, and now I can't forget it.
But she...
And just for the record, I got 2 hands up when I was describing it.
There's like this, like
Easy.
8 inches apart, 2 hands up.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding.
No, so yeah, she's driving down the street, severed penis in her hand, rolls down the window, manual, mind you, leans over, rolls down the manual, and throws it out the window.
Throws it out. Yep.
Passenger side ends up
over the roof.
Yeah,
I think
she did.
Dr. Jade it, like
Yeah,
out the
hook shot.
driver's side.
Hook shot over the
Is that
roof.
what it was?
Good for her.
Yeah.
And then she continued driving to her friend's house, who was the lady who owned the nail salon.
Yes.
And she said, "What did you do?" 'Cause she was sitting there, she had blood all over.
Well, no, didn't she go to the nail salon? She went to
first to see if it was open. Yes,
yeah,
you're
she
correct.
was
Go
in
ahead.
the parking
Go from
lot.
there.
No, I was just gonna say I think it was at the nail salon. That's where she went.
First, but then there was nobody there.
Oh, okay.
Then she went to the house.
Okay.
And then she was like, "Oh my God, what happened? We need to call the police." And then she was saying something in gibberish because she didn't speak very good English, and her friend was trying to understand her. And she was like, "Oh, we need to go to the police."
Was it Venezuelan?
I don't think so. I think it was just messed up English. She said something about the dynasty thing.
I chopped off his enchilada.
Yeah.
Like I cut the penis.
Well, did you catch in that documentary that they actually had the tapes of the, I guess the authorities talking back and forth, and they wouldn't really say what it was or what they were looking for. I guess when we get to that point, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll get there real quick.
Yeah.
So she's in there talking to the police. The police are notifying her that he is on his way to the hospital. They're doing an emergency surgery. And I think she's at the hospital at the same time, correct?
At the other side of the hospital.
Yes, because then she was saying about a rape, and they need to do a rape kit on her.
Right.
And that's where they would look for semen or like blood. I don't know how they do those. I'm not an expert.
Never had one.
I can imagine.
I'm no scientist.
They're looking for some kind of evidence of force. They're looking for bruising, brush burns,
something. Yes,
so there's not going to be call it a smooth entry.
Right.
It's going to be
Rough.
I don't want this to happen. My body is going to do anything to stop this from happening. So
right.
Again, did they ever say, was it considered a rape?
Was it?
That's the whole thing. I don't think they ever said it was or was not.
Was there something at that time in the state of Virginia where they did not
you cannot have a rape if you're married.
That's what
you
it
are
was.
correct.
I was actually going to say that in jest. Absolutely in complete jest. Well, you can't have a rape if you're married.
No, but that was like on the books, I guess.
Yeah, it was a state law in Virginia.
Yeah.
So that's what they were trying to figure out. Like, how were you raped? Why are we doing a rape kit? From what Dave just said, and what you were saying in jest, like, is it a rape if you're married?
If you're married, right.
But it is.
Yeah.
There's no way around that.
I guess you couldn't get prosecuted for. I don't know. Wasn't there something like that though in the state of Virginia at the time?
Did she say no?
Yeah, I don't know. There was a whole lot of things with her.
Her stories, they didn't add up, and then you can get into that here in a second.
Well, the reason I wanted to talk, I brought up the nail salon because there's something that ties back to that later, and I don't know if you have it or you have it.
No, you hold on to that.
With something that comes up in trial.
I ain't got shit.
Okay. Yeah, there's a part that comes up in trial that will tie back to that, and we're going for So when we get to that point, I'll bring it up.
But while we're at it, he's getting emergency surgery. I guess they put
out a call.
They put out all points bulletin to look for a
severed like member.
Member, yeah.
Did they say member? That it was a way that they worded it that they wouldn't say penis or whatever over the.
Members only.
Members only.
They
was a jacket.
They make
Right.
jackets. Yep.
Right.
But yeah, it was put out there. All the cops in the area were out there, and I guess a guy found the penis
Pretty quickly,
Yes,
which is
and
impressive.
He put it in a used hot dog wrapper.
Hold, please. Do you want to? Who wants to be that cop?
Oh no, I
I
know.
found it.
Fuck! I found the goddamn penis. I found it. Now, do I have to be the one to pick this up? Like, I would use a shovel,
Yeah.
something, because it's already in the dirt.
Just be glad it wasn't Officer Dahmer. You would have never found it.
That's true.
Ooh, delicious.
Where'd it go? I don't know.
Hey.
What's that in your back pocket? Nothing.
Lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they said the police officer that found it picked it up with those little hot dog
Yeah, like from 7-Eleven.
from 7-Eleven. He used one of the wrappers to pick it up because that was laying there with just trash.
Oh my god!
On the side of the
You see,
road.
like the little white piece.
yes,
of
the white piece of paper.
the
Yeah.
makeshift paper plate that is elongated.
Well, no, I think it was like wasn't it
cylindrical.
the one that you can close, like you ever see like at 7-Eleven,
yeah.
the hot dog. Wasn't it
Oh,
one
is that
of
what a
those?
7-Eleven one?
Yeah,
Okay,
because there was
so
a
it was a higher end.
There was a 7-Eleven right on that corner, right in that area, because that's where she told them to go. I was near a 7-Eleven and I threw, so they kind of knew the intersection.
A lot of 7-Elevens in Virginia.
Is there?
Oh yeah.
It's popular there.
Ooh.
But for a guy, that's kind of like that they found it so quickly. You know, that you could say that.
Oh yeah, I
You
mean,
know what
how,
I mean?
yeah,
Because
because
I
a
know-
bunch of trash
I'm
on
sure-
the side of the road.
I'm sure there's some guys that it would take a lot longer to find. What I'm saying is that there's enough there to find. You know what
Yeah.
You know what I'm getting around to.
Yeah,
Is
this guy, apparently, they didn't have trouble finding it that quickly.
And think about like if a bird would have came along or anything, it could have just been gone for
Some
good.
I mean,
An
animals. Any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Any carnivorous animal.
Right.
Yeah, what if like a squirrel was nibbling on it, or like a raccoon, or like a
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing. Like just wildlife out there. You know what I mean?
just nibbling on it?
And think how clearly he was thinking for that time that he was away
Oh
from that.
wow, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he would just probably think clearly and thinking with the
Can't
right.
imagine.
You know, I don't know.
Can't imagine. But as we're talking now, this whirlwind of events. So this is spreading through APBs, all point bulletins. Everybody's getting word of this. Apparently, somehow it leaked out to the news media. People start hearing like what? They're finding what? Like, huh? Is this guy alive? Like, what happened? No, the guy's alive. There's a woman there in the hospital with him. It starts spreading like wildfire, and then boom, trials.
Yep.
So you were gonna allude to the nail. Oh, I shouldn't say allude.
Well, no, the part about the trial.
Yes, there we go.
Well, when you get into talking about it, I mean, it's something to do with. So his trial was first, correct?
Yes, John went on trial in 1993
For
the
her-
marital sexual
for her
assault.
marital
Correct.
sex. Okay.
Correct.
Mhm.
So she had made a comment when he raped her. You know, when she was alleging that he raped her, and did they ever say if he did or didn't? Like he didn't.
There was nothing with the
Right.
rape kit. They never said he was
But-
just found not guilty.
But
because
she said that he forcefully pulled down her underwear and ripped them. Okay,
Oh.
and they had, I guess, the underwear as evidence.
Oh.
But the defense team, I guess, or I don't know if it was, I guess it would have been his lawyers. There was a cut that they had somebody look at these underwear, and there was a cut by a pair of scissors to start the rip.
Oh.
So they were saying that
she did it.
they were alleging, which we like
Mhm.
that word, that maybe she had when she went to her salon. What do they have at salons? You know, obviously nail salons, and I'm sure they do hair and other stuff there. They would have had scissors there that maybe she cut those to.
Do the rip to
Yeah.
make it look.
And there was also something about the part of the rapes and all that stuff that you could only go back 5 days, I guess, for what she did to him. You could only use events that happened 5 days leading up to that. As far as like, I did it in retaliation for him raping me or doing this or that. She couldn't talk about
like a crime of passion or some shit like
right. Something that like set her off to do it and pushed her into it. She could only go back 5 days. Well, she had, you know, however long they were married. I guess he was abusing her. None of that could be put into the
trial.
But that part about the underwear, and that's why I wanted to confirm
Okay.
with you that she did go to the nail salon, because I think that's what they said. That's what they were saying. If she went there, there were scissors there. She probably cut them.
And then
That's
pulled
what
them
they were
apart.
saying, yeah. And that's what kind of left the jury, I guess, thinking, well, maybe there's something here. I don't know.
But in the hospital, yeah, it came back. There was no evidence of physical or serious assault to her body. There was nothing out of the ordinary, and that's what led to him being found not guilty of the marital rape charge, because
Right.
they couldn't find any sort of evidence through the rape kit.
And in her, when she first sat down with police, I guess she made a comment. He always have orgasm. No wait for me. He's selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what she said to the cop.
To the cop, yeah.
So the cop was like, man, this chick's crazy.
Yeah.
This chick's selfish.
Yeah.
And then his whole thing was what that.
Be like, be happy you had some sexy time.
No, but
young lady.
wasn't his
And
whole
a green card, bitch.
wasn't his whole thing though that he was saying that he was going to be leaving her and she was upset about it.
Yep.
And that's
Yeah,
why-
he was stating that she was jealous that he wanted to leave her. He wanted the divorce, and that's when she would start becoming aggressive. She would start hitting, scratching, leaving marks on him, which were never. I don't think they had any evidence of that. I know they had evidence of her sometimes with like a bruise or whatever. The first time he was accused or not accused, he was found whatever when he went to this class.
Right.
But there was some sort of evidence that he had abused her before.
And what do you always say is that there's always his story, her story,
Correct.
and then the truth.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So his trial was in 1993. John Wayne Bobbitt was found not guilty of marital rape or sexual assault. Both of those were dropped. So her trial began in 1994 for malicious wounding, which is that wounding?
I would say.
I mean, malicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And even
Like, wouldn't that be like
deform like
she cut the thing off? Like wounding, I think would be like if she just like
sliced it.
stabbed it or something, or
yeah.
stabbed it.
Yeah.
Just poke at it.
take that.
Right. Well, she had made a comment too to a friend of her. I think I'm pretty sure it was a friend of hers. Actually, said they were talking about what would you do if you found out like your husband cheated on you, and she was like, well, the one girl was like, I'd kill my husband or whatever, and Lorena made a comment, I would cut his dick off because that would, if I murder him, that'd be too easy. If I cut his dick off, like he'll suffer for the rest of his life, basically, along those lines, you know. So whether or not
that's Venezuelan justice.
Yeah, is that what they do there?
That's what they do there. So like in other
Well,
countries,
they do that shit in other countries. Yeah, you steal something, they cut your damn hand off.
I was going to say we've referred to that in other podcasts, and it's that old adage in other countries. You know, if you steal, and I don't know, honestly, I don't know if that's true.
Right?
Maybe that's true in ungoverned Afghanistan. Who knows?
Yeah.
But you know, yeah. So let's say you steal, they cut your hand off. You cheat on your old lady in Venezuela.
Right.
You cheat on your old lady, she's going to cut your junk off.
But he didn't cheat.
Well, we don't know that.
We don't know that.
We can't. We don't know.
She was a jealous woman. He was a jealous dude.
Right.
Who knows?
She thinks he cheated.
Yes.
And she also knows that he verbally and mentally and sometimes physically abused her.
Abused her, yeah.
Well, that's what she testified. He had raped her, hit her throughout their marriage. The defense team, they argued that she was within her rights to do that because she felt threatened, and the abuse had drove her to be temporarily insane.
And she was like up for like 20 years. She could have did. They said.
Yeah.
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 For that malicious wounding charge.
Mm-hmm.
And as Dave mentioned earlier, she admitted about the orgasm thing, which cops thought, and people also when she read that, they were like, "What?" But then she was stating that her English isn't very good, and that's not exactly what she meant. She didn't have a interpreter there when she was being questioned, and she said her English was bad, and they misunderstood what she was trying to say.
Yeah.
Which it sounded pretty like what she tried to say was pretty.
Yeah.
It made sense to what I heard.
It's like that French woman from Better Off Dead when she says Ricky puts his testicles all over me. I mean, tentacles.
Tentacles.
Yeah. See, wrong interpreter or bad interpreter. But she knew what she was saying. Look, not for nothing. She was pissing and moaning like, look, he just comes in here, does his business, and then he finishes.
Rolls, yeah.
And I'm sitting waiting for satisfaction.
So there's probably a little bit of that. That's what I was saying. I'm sure there's like Zap always says, there's probably the truth in the middle of all this. I'm sure there was a little.
Well, yeah,
bit on both
everybody
sides,
has their stories, and
right.
as you said, there's always the truth to the story. It's hard to find. That's why people go on trial.
Right.
But are those always right? Like you were
No.
saying, I mean, between this was the Botafuco, and then you had OJ on the end. Like
Amy Fisher, yeah.
Yeah, if you go on trial, like is it always come out right, or at the end but it's whoever the lawyers are too.
My thing too with these stories like this is how do you find a jury that's not, because they're not allowed to really be influenced by outside.
Nowadays, it's impossible.
Yes.
Back then, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
but it would have to be like people like our parents' age
Right.
who aren't watching that kind of shit on the news, or maybe they missed it, or maybe they don't have a television.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you are hard pressed to find anybody who's impartial, and by that I mean they haven't been in some way, shape, or form biased
Mhm.
or they haven't heard a news report.
Mhm.
That's always going to have a slant. I don't care who it is. There will
Mhm.
always be a slant in any report.
And I think with a story like this, if you're a man or woman too, depending, and maybe they split the jury down the middle, but I think if from a man's perspective, you're probably
man's right away is like,
you're
this
like, oh
girl's-
my god, you chopped. You
Yeah,
cut
this
his
girl's
dick off.
guilty.
And then from a
110%.
women's perspective, they're probably like, well, he probably deserved. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Not
he
to
deserved
say,
it
I'm
because
fuck-
he raped her. He was abusive. So there is, and it would be hard to split a jury like that. But both were found not guilty
Mm-hmm.
of the crimes that they were so called. So is this a true crime then or not?
If the Trojan don't fit, you must acquit.
Must have quit. Yeah, you're right. Was there a crime committed?
Was there a crime committed? Did we jump?
Well,
did we jump the shark on
No,
this
we
one?
didn't. No, we did not. Because if you listen to our intro,
You
it
just blew my mind
blew my mind up.
and my
Wow.
brain.
Now, if you listen to our intro, we say where we cover a true crime or
Compelling story.
and
I feel compelled.
it is a
Yeah.
compelling story. Yeah.
But as we were just talking about, outside the courtroom, there was so much on the news. I mean, you had the Tonight Show. Everybody was talking about what was going on in that courtroom, and I mean, and they said they had like sideshow stuff at the courthouse. There were people selling like orange slice and hot
I was
dogs.
going to say hot dogs.
Yeah,
Of course,
there
somebody's
was
out there with selling
T-shirts. Yeah, they had like little chocolate penises that they would like chop off and give the people as snacks. Craziness.
Unreal.
They're saying this was this. They said Manassas, a cut
Manassas.
above the rest.
Is that what they said?
That was like T-shirts that they were
they
selling.
were selling the
That's awesome. Blackstrap Manassas.
blackstrap Manassas.
there
Yeah,
you
you're
go.
right. That'll cure everything.
But
You could probably maybe refasten it with some blackstrap.
I think so.
Maybe it would stick.
There's a stickiness to that Manassas.
Yeah.
that's what they put it back with, and sewed it. They sewed it up
Blackstrap.
and put some
If you would have went to
blackstrap.
that doctor of yours you were talking about, what was that doctor that with the machine?
Oh, the guy with the fax machine.
Old Eddie, Sweet Eddie.
Sweet Eddie.
Yeah, for
Sweet Eddie dollars.
Yeah.
for Crazy Eddie, his doctor was that guy with the fax machine that would spit out a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm sorry. You inserted a piece of paper with your handwriting on it, and it would spit out what's wrong with
What's
you.
wrong with you? Yeah.
And the cure was blackstrap molasses.
Yes, that would do the trick.
Always.
So
Now, sorry, go ahead.
no, you were gonna say
Oh, and a foot. I'm sorry, and a toe pulling.
A toe pulling
You
would do
need
it
toe
too.
pulling, that's right.
that's probably
Adjust
would have
it.
cured everything.
What I remember most about John Wayne Bobbitt is like the Stern, Howard Stern, like him going on the
Oh,
Stern
God, yeah.
show, and
Absolutely.
like and getting into like we were talking about before this, the
Yeah, we'll get into that right after the end of the story here. But what you're talking
Yeah.
about is all the stuff that happened after. Like we
The
said, they
aftermath.
jumped on that bandwagon
Right.
and let it pull them through.
Mhm.
But on January 21st, 1994, Lorena was found not guilty due to the temporary insanity plea, meaning she did not have to spend any time in prison for what she did to her husband at the time. Following the acquittal, she was sent to a hospital for 45 days for a psychiatric evaluation. And after that, Virginia state law said, hey, you're done. And she's a free woman.
she's free. Yeah.
So both of them found not guilty for both charges against them. So you were going to say after their acquittal,
Yes.
what
So
was
no,
happening?
I was just saying that like the thing that stood out to me, I always remember is the Howard Stern. I think it was like he did like a New Year's special or something. He had a fundraiser for John Wayne
John Wayne
Bobbitt.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. He ended up collecting a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like, a
Was that
lot.
false or was that
No, it's for real.
that was for real?
It's absolutely for real.
Oh wow!
New Year's.
Was that?
I
What it
thought they
was,
were
like a New
joking
Year's?
around about that. It was a New Year's special, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he was able to raise. It was December 31st, 1993.
Oh, cool.
Howard Stern's New Year's Eve special. He was able to raise $250,000.
$250,000.
$250,000.
Wow.
That's big money. Yeah.
That's big goddamn money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, she cut his penis off.
Right.
There got to be some guys out there with some
yeah.
change. They're like, hey man, give the guy $100.
I know, man. I
I
feel
mean,
bad for the guy.
Jeez.
That would have been like a modern day. What do they call that when they had like not a Kickstarter, but the one where they raise money and stuff online. What's the thing? Yeah, you see it online all the time. GoFundMe. Yeah.
I thought you were going to talk about like that thing where they could have shown like John Wayne Bobbitt like a penis hanging out on the side of the road. Just
Right.
And they're like,
Like
he's
Sally
sad.
Struthers.
Like, yeah, like he's got tears coming down his eyes.
Think of all these
Like-
lonely
like-
penises.
Like
that
a
need
cop
reattached.
finds it and picks it up in slow motion. Is like raising it. And he's there like holding two hands over his penis.
Yeah. I mean,
Please help.
Guys
John
really-
Wayne Bobbitt.
Adopt a penis.
yes.
Yes, there you go.
I'm reminded in this whole story that when we were talking about the shenanigans, the circus-like atmosphere that was going on
Right.
outside of the courtroom, I miss Slice. soda.
Cola.
soda.
Yes.
I loved Orange Slice.
Orange
That
Slice.
was so good.
Yeah, what was the remember Jolt?
Jolt too.
Never liked Jolt.
Jolt was like extra caffeine.
Yeah, double the caffeine, double the da-da.
I wonder after this happened if you could get Orange Slice for half off.
You might have been.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was a good play on words there.
There's so many with this.
Yeah, you go on for weeks.
But yeah, I remember the Stern stuff. Like we talked about, we were young at the time, like high school or right out of high school, I guess. Or when did this end? You said the trial and all that.
The trial ended January 21st, 1994.
Okay, so yeah, we were our senior year, but the media circus and all that probably pretty much started. Would you say right after the police reports and stuff?
100%.
Yeah.
And it kept going the whole goddamn time. Which is why you had the circus outside of the courtroom.
I did hear that the trial, I don't know if it was his or hers, they were going to have it, and it was aired, they put it on TV, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it was.
And it was going to air like December 23rd. And they were like, no, you got to move it because viewership will be down because of Christmas and the holidays and stuff. So they moved it into January, I guess, because they knew people were going to watch.
That is so fucking wild. Wait, to be clear, just so I understand you correctly, they delayed the trial by X number of days.
Yes.
So it didn't overlap with Christmas.
Yeah, because they knew viewership.
Solely for viewership.
Viewership.
Wow.
Yes. And you think about the OJ stuff, how much that was on TV. I mean, it was a big part of, was it Court TV? I don't know if that was out back then.
I don't think it was. I think it was just on regular like CBS, NBC, ABC.
Yeah, it was just on every station. But this, much like that, I guess this trial was televised and.
But they had a thing on like lost work hours for the OJ trial. Like how many people at work they would have TVs on. You would just sit there and watch it for 3, 4, 5 hours a day.
We're so close. We got to slow down on that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We're foreplaying.
Foreplay.
Speaking of foreplay, John Wayne Bobbitt appeared in some
Adult
videos.
movies.
Yes, adult movies after he got his penis sewn back on, successfully sewn back on.
After a 9.5 hour surgery.
Good. I didn't even say hours or inches. I just wanted to
9.5 inches.
Jesus.
Well, they found, like Dave said, they just found it there.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't see them. I haven't seen any of those movies. I know they exist. Have either of you seen?
I have not.
No, me neither.
9.5 hour surgery to put a penis back on.
Didn't he get an enlargement at one point too?
Yes, I did hear that.
Yeah.
I think Howard Stern talked about that.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
Maybe
But
that's
then-
what the $250,000 went to.
went towards that. Yeah. But
I don't know. Still, like I'd look down and be like, "Dang."
yeah. I mean, it's
I remember the way it was.
Yeah.
I remember the way.
way
I remember
we
the way.
were.
Remember the way God made it. I miss it that way.
But then, I guess he wasn't happy. Like you're taking a pee one day, you're looking down, you're like, oh man, now I want the old one back. Did he get the old one back? Did he stay with the new one?
yeah. I don't know. I just know that he did get an enhancement surgery. I guess I did. Either I saw it on the documentary or read it in the notes and stuff.
Just talking about it now, like I can't fathom. Just be like, that's my dick was cut off at one time. It's back though. It's good.
I mean, it's got to be traumatizing. But watching him,
If that's what you want to call it, yeah.
watching him on this documentary, with like currently, I mean, even back then, I remember he just seemed like a relaxed guy, like no big deal and stuff like that. But I'm sure it had to be traumatizing. But he loved the fame and he loved all that. I mean, you could tell all the attention. And
They
stuff.
both went in different directions, like way different directions.
So what did she do?
Yeah, when this was all done, I mean, she went on to, I mean, I don't want to say, a fantastic life or did whatever, but she turned out a hell of a lot better than he did. She remained in the Manassas area. I
believe real quick. I believe she said something like, "Why should I let him win?" Because they asked, "Why would you still live there?" I think she like stayed at the same place or
That's
whatever.
right.
Yeah,
I live here. This is my home.
Yes, there
blah
you
blah
go.
blah. Yep. Let's see. Oh, she became a U.S. citizen, official, like a referee's whistle.
Wow.
Official in the summer of '94 when we were at Senior Week.
God bless her.
Her divorce from John was finalized in 1995.
Good job.
She accepted money for some appearances in South America.
Viva Los Venezuela.
That's right. However, her virtue kicked in. She was offered $1 million for Playboy.
Yes. That's
And
what
she said, no bueno.
Why why?
To earn a living, she instead worked as a cosmetologist, an administrative assistant, and a real estate agent. This is
Why-
back then.
Why turn down $1 million
Would you do it? Playgirl for $1 million?
for hell yeah?
Would you?
No.
No.
I'm
Not for $1 million?
I'm ashamed.
I'm ashamed of what God gave me.
Oh, for real?
I don't. Look, I'm hung like an elevator.
I
There's
don't
not
believe that.
even a Playgirl anymore. I mean, I don't even think that's a thing.
I don't know. I mean,
Like,
I got copies of it.
hell
behind
yeah,
me.
there is.
I don't know. I just fear people. I just always think. I just think people would laugh.
Nah, come
yeah,
on now.
no, I
'Cause
mean,
look, it's different if you're a dude.
Yeah.
Come on, it's different if you're a dude.
no, who
No,
was?
I know, I
It
know
is,
what you mean.
because you don't know. Like, you'd be a little weird on who's doing looky.
Yeah.
Here come Cookie.
Yeah,
Are
but
you saying they wouldn't fold out another page? It would just be, is that what you're trying to say?
look, man, I just said it. Look,
No, who was the one guy? Like, was it Burt Reynolds or something?
Well,
That
he-
did- wasn't there like a big somebody that
Well,
posed
there's
in
a guy
Playgirl
from
or something like that?
there's a band called Typo Negative. I don't know if you guys ever heard of them.
Summer Breeze.
Peter Steele. He was in there.
I didn't know that.
And then Burt Reynolds I think did do it.
That's a
back in
funny
the day.
name for a Playgirl, Peter Steele.
Peter Steele. Yeah.
Yeah, that's odd.
Sounds like a porn name, but it's
Yeah.
actually the guy's name. Yeah. But he
Peter
was
Steele.
7 foot tall, I think, or something like that.
He wasn't 7 foot, was he?
He was huge. Maybe not 7, but close.
See the window. He kind of sounds like that, but not
Right.
as cool as me.
wild as hell.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know that I would do it either. I mean, but for $1 million, I don't know.
But a lady posing in Playboy is a lot different than a guy posing in.
Thank you. That's
Playgirl.
exactly you quite literally took the words out of my mouth. It is absolutely different for a chick to be posing in Playboy because chicks' bodies are hot.
Right.
Very pretty.
Dudes' bodies are ugly. Like they're nasty, man.
Yeah, I know.
This is what
Maybe that's another reason why she cut it off. Maybe she's like, man, it's just nasty.
Get rid of it. Yeah.
I
So
don't know,
nasty.
man. I would not. I don't think I would do it.
But
for
anyway,
$1 million, I wouldn't
she
do it.
did. She did pretty well for herself. Became an American citizen, like you said. Working jobs. She's just
She's
living
working job.
American dream, man.
So not just that, she became almost a like an ambassador. She in 1996, in late 1996 in October, she visited Ecuador, where she met with the then president for an official dinner. Sometime later, the two of them would baptize. She would be a godmother,
Oh,
and he was the godfather to somebody's kid. Let's see. Oh, alas, in 97, she had made some news when she was charged with assault for punching her mother as they were watching television. It's all right, though. She was eventually acquitted of the assault. And
wow. She's like OJ.
and the
on some of
mother
this stuff.
continued to live with her. Yeah.
Dude, she's just getting acquitted everywhere.
Right.
Basically, when last anyone checked in with her in 2007, she was working at a beauty salon in Washington, D.C.
Not the same one, though. Or?
Probably not the same one. You mean the
Oh,
one
no,
that she had
that's
stolen
right.
from?
Yeah, that's not in D.C. That's right. That was in Manassas.
That's right. That was in Blackstrap, Manassas.
Black.
That same year, she had founded Lorena's Red Wagon organization, which helps prevent domestic violence
women-
through family-oriented activities.
And I know he
So
got.
she started a nonprofit, which means she's probably just taking money off the
Basically,
T-side.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
We didn't really talk about other than the stuff with him in the porn movies, but didn't he get in trouble again for beating a girlfriend or a wife or something?
So that's
like
where, that's why I had mentioned earlier, like she went in one direction,
that? And he went okay.
despite, slapping her mama, because at Brothers Barbecue tastes so good, make you want to slap your mama.
Right. What's that from?
Friday after next.
Friday
It's,
after next.
not
Okay.
just the Friday. It's after next.
It's not just next Friday, it's Friday after next. Yeah, he went down a bad path. So he did the Stern thing, got $250,000 on New Year's Eve, 93. He did the porn film in 94. The porn film first one was John Wayne Bobbitt Uncut. His second pornographic appearance was in 1996 in the adult film classic Frankenpenis.
Frankenpenis.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was, Tim Burton film.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to watch that.
Seems like it just needs to be a little darker.
Yeah,
If I was Tim Burton, I'd have sued the shit out of that guy.
you're right.
Look,
I mean, but it's
I made Frankenweenie so long ago. I've been sitting on this Frankenweenie, and you released Frankenpenis.
Yeah.
Right.
You son of a bitch.
With porn though, you're allowed to take
Parodies
names
are,
and do
parodies are, I think, because it's not really,
It's a parody.
it's not like
of
a
it.
SAG thing or something like that.
Right.
Like it's a whole different.
Is this like
it's
a Weird
whole
Al
different
Yankovic
world.
thing?
Did you guys see that yet,
Yeah.
actually?
I did. I watched the first episode. Yeah, it was pretty decent.
Whoa, hold on.
No,
hold
the
on.
movie.
Weird Al.
Yeah.
On Hulu
No. There's a whole movie on
with
Paramount.
the guy from
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah,
Daniel
that's the one
Radcliffe.
I watched. It's not a movie though.
Yeah,
it
it
was
is.
episodes.
No, it's a
I'm
movie.
pretty sure. Maybe it is a movie, but
It's a movie.
I did start watching it
Yeah.
because It's the accordion. The
Yes,
salesman comes.
yes,
Is that
it's-
beats
yes,
it up?
is
Yeah,
that- yeah.
it's good.
You
Did you
don't want
watch
to play
it?
in it?
I've been meaning to watch it,
Mm-hmm.
but for the same reason, I just haven't had time. I just have not had time. Terribly busy season for me. Cannot stand it.
It's a good watch.
Yeah. Yeah, my clients are killing me.
So anyway, Lorena Bobbitt too. She had a daughter. Also had a boyfriend later. Never got married. And the documentary Lifetime movie. I think we said something real quick about it by Jordan Peele.
Right. On Prime.
John continued to go down that bad path. However, in 94, he was charged with striking his girlfriend, Christina Elliott, who was a 20-year-old former exotic dancer.
There it is.
He'd met while he was in Las Vegas, Nevada, on a publicity tour.
Is that part of the Dahmer triad also? Exotic dancer? Can we add that one? Could that be a...
Well, so let's see.
Well, he didn't-
Torturing animals, playing with fire, getting your junk cut off. No, that's not part of the McDahmer triad.
Not getting your junk cut off. I'm saying an exotic dancer.
Well, did Dahmer get with them?
Oh, like another one was we had
We
actually
came up with we're expanding.
we were
I'm trying to
considering one-
expand.
You had actually put in a great one that like you would
Oh, military.
you were in the
Military.
military. That's correct. Or I'm sorry. You had said that a lot of things we're seeing with these guys over and over, like they've all been in the military. And what's going on with that?
Right. Is there a
What's up with
connection?
Let's see. He was convicted of battery and sentenced to 15 days in jail. Also,
Was it Duracell?
they were and no Energizer.
Oh,
So they were engaged at
the
the
bunny,
time.
not funny.
Yeah,
Right.
they were engaged at the time. They broke off their engagement. 4 years later, John appeared on a World Wrestling Federation.
Listen here, brother.
Monday Night Raw
He said raw.
with Val Venus.
I did not know who that is.
After that, though, he ended up moving to Las Vegas to be a bartender. He ended up like being a limo driver, a mover, pizza delivery driver, and a tow truck operator. He did have a stint at a wedding chapel as a minister of a local Universal Life Church
Oh, okay.
out in Las Vegas.
I think that's another part of the triad too. If it's looked into, like the church thing,
Could
You're a
be.
preacher.
preacher or like religious ties to some of the weirdness.
Uh,
So that's John Wayne Bobbitt.
Almost in 1999. In 1999,
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. In
I'm sorry.
1999,
Reel it back in.
in 1999, he got probation for a theft at a store. Just
Was he
stealing
stealing
whatever.
dresses?
I think he was stealing condoms.
Oh, for real?
No, I have no idea what the
I
hell
was
he
like,
was
that's
doing.
weird.
In 03, so he was, as a result of that theft, he was on probation. 4 years later, he was sent to prison for violating the probation of that 1999 crime.
Beating up the girlfriend.
Yeah, after he was arrested on battery charges involving his after he was involved in battery charges. He was again twice arrested on charges of battery against his then wife. That same year, he filed for divorce under the name John W. Farrell, which he had
Like Will.
he had been using during his marriage. So he changed his last name.
Oh, to Farrell.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
After
so
all this,
she changed her name to Gallo. I guess he changed his name to Farrell.
Yeah.
Farrell.
And oh my
After
goodness.
old school.
Yeah. Oh. In 2014, he was severely injured when he broke his neck in a car accident in Buffalo. That's the last we've heard of John Wayne Bobbitt.
I was gonna say this guy can't buy a break, but
No.
you just said his neck.
Oh, I know, man. Jesus, he had his junk cut
Wow.
off, then he broke his
Broke his
neck.
neck. Yeah.
He might need to consider changing his lifestyle.
Yeah. Seriously.
So yeah, I mean that was a little bit different for us. It was fun, different. There was no I guess we can't. There was no.
This is the
true
first one
crime.
that, that there was not a murder. Although, well, no,
we have done not murders.
We've
right?
done well. We did like the Love Canal, but there were deaths. Maybe
There were
connected to
deaths
that,
connected.
that they say. But
Nobody died in this one though, so it's
No.
kind of like a happy story for us.
Mm.
a little bit. I mean, it was just this is like I said, if you were alive at the time and old enough to grasp what it was about. I mean, it was everywhere. I definitely remember this. I forgot about it until you brought it up the other day.
Yeah.
And watching that documentary, I got
Just
a lot
remember
of.
seeing every day you come home from school and
It was
right when you turn the TV on.
right. But yeah, it was-
Certainly a compelling story.
oh, absolutely.
Very much so.
I mean, I would argue that crimes were committed.
Yeah.
Were they, in a court of law found guilty? Meh.
Right.
Maybe a couple here, a couple 2 tree,
Mm-hmm.
but she got off for cutting his junk off.
Yeah.
She wasn't thrown in jail for that.
So you guys got anything else in closing on this?
No. Again, I would just like to say that if you are being an ass, come home drunk, and your wife's upset with you, lay on your stomach.
Yep. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever she married to now, he must be a saint. Like, you think about it.
I would just stay in line, man. I wouldn't.
Like, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't be acting up.
You wouldn't. Yeah.
I don't know. I would probably just avoid marrying that woman.
Yeah.
Look, she's tainted, man.
Right.
That it sucks.
But if you look at this, there's something kind of hot about her. Actually, I mean, I'm checking out some of her.
I don't know. I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Yeah, and I wouldn't go to sleep. I didn't say sleep
At all.
No.
I would remove all cutlery from the house as well.
Right.
Or dull the shit out of it.
Yep.
No scissors, no knives, nothing.
Yeah, just keep everything.
Can you imagine, like, she comes over to your apartment, like, she's going to stay the night. She starts, like, oh, I'm going to get, like,
Looking
trying to
at
cut
cutlery.
some fruit.
Yeah.
There's, like, nothing in the drawers.
How do I cut the like
She's
plastic
like,
knives?
Yeah,
from
where do you
McDonald's?
keep the knives? Like, oh.
It's only spoons here, baby.
Yeah,
Right.
Slow down there, honey pie.
Only spoons.
So, being New Year's here coming up, we're going to take a break. Next week, we won't have a true crime. We're going to hit you with a special bonus episode. We'll surprise you with that. We will be back, though, hopefully the week after that with a brand new episode. So just to give you guys a heads up, I'll post all this on social media if you follow our show over there, and I hope you are. We'll give you our schedule coming up, but we've been at this for a few months, so we just want to take like a week off just to gather ourselves.
Yeah, like you said, need y'all to chill to the next episode.
Exactly.
Thank you for your patience.
Yep. So don't forget to find us on Facebook and Instagram at Old Dirty Basement, on TikTok at Old Dirty Basement Podcast. Hit that 5-star review if you're on Google, Spotify, Apple. Leave us a written review. Really helps us out. And I guess that's it for now. We'll catch you where?
On the flip side.
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
Happy holidays. Peace. Thanks for hanging out in the Old Dirty Basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is available streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram, and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We Audi 5000.